Chapter 14. A Knife Through His Hand. Not-Sheba wanted to go on talking to Pemulwuy. Charlie was making documentary science films, and Frank was watching the dancing straw figures. Some of them looked like little women. "What are you doing here?" said Frank. "Oh, Lady Chiltern collected us," said one, "but they got bored with us and put us in a cupboard." "And what are you?" said Frank. "Corn dollies," said another of them. Charlie was doing a running commentary to a nature film. "Here, on the forest floor, we see the giant stag beetle meet its old enemy, the rhinoceros beetle. In a matter of seconds, they become locked in combat." "What's a corn doll?" said Frank. "Us," said a corn dolly. "What do corn dollies do?" said Frank. "We're the queens of the harvest. My name's Harvest Queen, you know." "My name's Mother Earth," said another. "I'm Ivy Girl. I'm Harvest Dame. I'm Frank," said Frank. We all know about you," said the corn dollies. "You've been thieving." "I wasn't." "That's lies. Yeah, that's what they all say," said Harvest Dame. "We've had all sorts in here, you know." Meanwhile, Pemulwuy was telling Not-Sheba a story. "When they came to look for us, we could just disappear into the bush. Yet we knew every tree, every track. Once a party of troopers came into the bush, we'd listen, and they wouldn't even know we were there. They were afraid of every insect, every leaf. They were afraid they'd die of thirst, but we knew which insects to eat. We knew which plants to cut open and suck. It was our place. So they went back to their camps. They knew they couldn't hunt us by tracking us. You know what they did? Next day they burnt the forests. And when we ran out and away from the flames, they shot at us. Men, women and children. All of us." "Did you escape that time?" said Not-Sheba. Charlie joined Frank with the corn dollies. "Who else has been in here?" said Frank. "Oh, little Arnold," said Mother Earth. "Little Arnold? Little Arnold? I've heard of him." "Me too," said Charlie. "Yeah, little Arnold Schwarzenegger, Mr. Universe, Terminator, strongman. Do you know, I was thinking of getting him to appear in one of my movies. I was going to dress him up in a kind of bear suit and do King Kong versus the giant grizzly. But then I heard he went into politics. I was going to play King Kong. Have they done a remake of King Kong? I think they have." Yeah, said Mother Earth. "Little Arnold was one of the lead miners." "That's it," said Frank. "I knew I'd heard of him from somewhere. Why was he here?" "Well, he stole some lead ore, rock, with lead in it." "Well, why did he do that?" "Because he weren't getting enough money mining, so he thought he'd make a bit of money on the side. He did want to eat, after all." "Well, what happened to him?" said Frank. "Did they send him to Australia too?" "Oh, no," said the corn dolly called Harvest Dame. "Well," said Frank, "what happened to him?" There was silence. Nobody wanted to say. "Come on," said Frank, "tell me, I have to know. It might happen to us." Oh, no, said Harvest Dame. It only happened to lead miners." "Well, tell me all the same." Charlie stepped nearer. He was trying to make himself look like a detective. "Do you know what a supergrass is, young lady?" "No," said Harvest Dame. "You play ball with us, we play ball with you. Know what I mean? You plead guilty, we tell the judge that you've helped us. Put the 5 villains in the slammer. You go down for 5 years instead of 10 years. Know what I mean? And we'll just forget about the Barclays Bank job, right? Yes? Yeah? Know what I mean?" "What's he talking about?" said Harvest Dame. "I'm making a film with him," said Frank, almost believing himself. "You're in it as well," said Charlie to the corn dollies. "What can they be?" Frank looked at them. He was still wondering about what happened to little Arnold. "They built fences. We didn't know what fences were," said Pemulwuy from his jar. "We didn't know you could say, 'This piece of land is mine,' and put a fence around it. This land is like the air and the sea. It belongs to everyone. You can't put a fence around it and say it belongs to you. They keep trying to tell us we should have the bit over there or the bit over the other side of the mountain. But everybody and everywhere belonged to everybody, and everywhere was everybody's. They didn't understand that. So they shot us." "Can you do kung fu?" said Charlie to the corn dollies. You could be the Kung Fu gang in a Bruce Lee movie. He's dead, but his spirit lives on. I'm going to be the next Bruce Lee. Charlie went through a few Kung Fu moves and yelled, "Acha!" and brought his hand hard down onto Frank's right leg. "Oh, great," said Frank. I won't be able to walk for a week." "It's nothing to do, there's nothing to what will happen to you later," said Mother Earth. "Look here," said Frank. "How come you know so much? Who are you, anyway?" "Oh, don't mind us," said Harvest Dame. "The farm workers made us at harvest time. Lord Chiltern's farm spread from here to the lead mine, so that's one huge lot of corn dollies. There's only 43 of us here now. There must have been hundreds of us every year once upon a time. When Lord Chiltern's man came round to collect the rent off the farm people, Lady Chiltern used to collect us." "Ah-cha!" said Charlie, and kicked the wall. "Shh," said the corn dollies. "They'll come down here if you make a noise. Remember what happened to little Arnold?" "Yes," said Frank. "No. You never did say what happened to little Arnold." "You tell him," said Harvest Dame to Ivy Girl. "Oh, no," said Ivy Girl. "You tell him," she said to the one called Maiden. "I'll tell him," said little Moppet. "They tied him to the winding gear at the top of the mine. You know, the thing like the handle you wind a bucket up out of a well with. Well, they stuck a knife through his hand and right into the wooden bit of the winding gear and left him." "But he could pull the knife out, couldn't he?" said Frank. "No, he was tied up, wasn't he?" "They came and chopped the land into little bits, but no matter what we did, whether we talked with them or whether we fought them, there was never any land for us. They just kept telling us we could go over there or over the other way." Not-Sheba's eyes stared at Pemulwuy's head in the jar as he said these things. Frank was looking at his hand, imagining it with a knife stuck through it into a piece of wood. "I'll just keep saying I wasn't taking Hanneman away. I was only taking him back to India." "I'm just the sheriff," said Charlie. "Tell your story to the judge Monday morning." There was a rattle of keys. The lock turned and the door opened. In the light stood Dog and the platoon of toy soldiers. "Prisoner Frank, prisoner Sheba, prisoner mummified Pharaoh, you are summoned to court. Quick march, left, right, left, right, left, right." And Charlie, Frank and Not-Sheba were marched out of the room and down a corridor. "Have you still got my worksheet?" said Frank to Not-Sheba. "Martians are not invisible, Captain," said Charlie. "Earth to Venus, we have high-frequency interference on the Z-band, over and out." "The corn dollies, don't you see it, can be Martians, can be the Martians," said Charlie excitedly. Yeah, Charlie, Frank said. "Yes," he said, hoping that just for once, just one blessed once, that Charlie would shut up. He just wanted to have time to think about all the horrible things that were about to happen to him. Not-Sheba was deep in thought. "I still don't know what I am," she said. "We could cover my mummy case in silver paper, hold it up in the air at night, and it would look like a spaceship," said Charlie. "Special effects, Frank. Special effects." "Yeah, special effects," said Frank in a dream. Special effects. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the story about Frank's adventures at the stately home. Maybe the next time you visit a museum or stately home, you'll be able to look at the objects on display there and wonder where they came from and what their story is. You might want to write your own story inspired by them. Frank also appears in You're Thinking About Doughnuts, which you can find here on Kids Poems and Stories with Michael Rosen. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Just click on the bell to keep updated with all the latest vids that we post here.